Hello everyone, welcome back to another new video, and I know it has been a long time, so this time the study is what I call two-sided. Your task is to not only find a win for white, but also black's hope for a drawing construction. One might be more difficult than the other. I hope you thought about it. To start, white is down in exchange for a pawn and the knight is being attacked. You also might have seen the pawn is also being threatened, so the first move is clear, f7. Black now has multiple defenses, most of which don't put up much resistance. Rook to f6 allows the pin bishop b2, and sacrificing the rook on g8 would also lose the bishop to a knight fork on e7, when white is two pieces up for nothing. Letting the pawn promote with check is completely losing as well, leaving the last defense, a rook check. White now has three moves, and the easiest to reject is king b1, losing the knight with check. The refutation for king b2 is less obvious, but now that an important square is occupied by the king, rook to f6 becomes possible, when white has at best a draw. If you saw this far, you are close to finding the mate in 26 in this position, which must start by sacrificing the bishop. The enemy king cannot stop the pawn, so rook takes bishop check is forced, but now the rook can no longer affect the f7 pawn in any way. However, things are not yet helpless for black, who can check another time on the a-file. We can't take the rook because of bishop to e6 check. We again have two moves to choose from, and this is key. You might think that moving the king closer to the center is better, but wait until you see rook c2 check. The rook has gotten behind, and there is no way we can approach it because these squares are all off limits for our king. There is also no place to hide our king near the enemy bishop, so we can only try to seek shelter near the pawn. But this is bad news because black's rook will just skewer on the 7th rank when it is needed, and this is unavoidable if we must also prevent the rook from getting to the back rank. If you saw all of this, you have beaten the study, because black's rook now has no way to get to the back rank when our king moves horizontally to hide behind our knight on f5. But wait! Rook to g4 check suddenly comes and taking it loses the knight on f5 with check, after which the king can stop our pawn. But we have a counter too, and that is king to h6. If the rook sacrifices again on g6, we will gladly capture it as our king can control g7. Black still has a sigh of relief because the rook has indeed managed to return to the 8th rank to save the game, but that is an illusion, because of 3, 2, and 1, knight to e7. The g8 rook cannot abandon the protection of g6, but even bishop e6 does not help because the bishop will still be blocking the only escape square for their king, allowing knight to g6 with a single knight checkmate. So amazing that I completely missed the last resource when I first analyzed it. I hope this illustrates the importance of finding moves for the opponent in chess, so please like and subscribe for, maybe two-sided games in the future. I will see you all in another video. Goodbye.